Have you ever felt that nagging pull in your chest when someone asks for your help? And deep down, you know you should say no, but the word just won't come out? You're not alone. In our fast-paced world, especially in places like the United States, the United Kingdom, or Australia, where ambition runs high and opportunities seem endless, we often find ourselves saying yes to everything, from extra work projects to social invitations that drain us. But what if I told you that learning to say no could be the key to unlocking your greatest potential? Drawing from the profound teachings of Napoleon Hill, the father of modern personal development, and author of the timeless classic Think and Grow Rich, today we're going to explore how mastering the art of saying no can protect your time and energy, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. Napoleon Hill spent decades studying the habits of successful people like Andrew Carnegie and Thomas Edison. He discovered that one common thread among them was their ability to concentrate their efforts fiercely on their definite chief aim, their big life goal. Saying yes to distractions meant diluting that focus, and Hill warned against it. In Think and Grow Rich, he emphasizes the power of decision-making and persistence, but underlying that is the subtle art of refusal. Without it, your energy scatters like leaves in the wind. If you're a young adult navigating the pressures of career building, social media expectations, or the hustle culture that's so prevalent in Western societies, this video is crafted just for you. We'll break it down into 6 key points, each infused with Hill's wisdom, practical advice, and stories that will resonate with your experiences. By the end, you'll feel empowered, not overwhelmed, ready to reclaim your life with gentleness and strength. So settle in, grab a notebook if you like, and let's begin this journey together. Remember, saying no isn't about closing doors, it's about opening the right ones. 1. Understand the true cost of saying yes. Let's start by shining a light on something we often overlook. Every yes you give comes at a price. It's not just about the time you commit, it's the energy, the mental space, and the opportunities you miss elsewhere. Napoleon Hill taught us about the principle of opportunity cost in a roundabout way through his emphasis on definite purpose. In his interviews with titans of industry, he found that those who achieved greatness weren't superhuman. They simply guarded their resources like treasures. Think about your own life for a moment. As a young person in a developed country like the US, UK, or Australia, you're bombarded with demands. Your boss emails about an extra shift, a friend wants help moving on your only free weekend, or social media tempts you with endless scrolls. Each yes might feel good in the moment. It makes you seem helpful, reliable, even likable. But over time it adds up. You end up exhausted, resentful, and farther from your dreams. Let me share a story to illustrate this. Imagine Sarah, a 25-year-old marketing assistant in New York City. She's ambitious, just like many of you watching. She says yes to every team meeting, every after-work drink, every favor from colleagues. At first it boosts her network, but soon she's burning out. Her personal projects, like starting that side hustle inspired by Hill's entrepreneurial spirit, fall by the wayside. Hill would say she's lacking definite chief aim. He believed that without focus, desire turns to dust. Research backs this up too. Studies from psychologists like those at Harvard show that chronic overcommitment leads to stress, reduced productivity, and even health issues like anxiety or weakened immunity. In Australia, where work-life balance is a hot topic, surveys from organizations like Beyond Blue highlight how saying yes too often contributes to mental health struggles among young adults. But here's the caring nudge. Recognizing this cost isn't about beating yourself up. It's about awakening to your worth. Your time is finite, about 700,000 hours in a lifetime, give or take. Hill reminded us that successful people treat time as their most valuable asset. So pause and reflect. What are you sacrificing with each yes? By understanding this, you're taking the first step toward mastery. It's okay to prioritize yourself. In fact, it's essential. As Hill put it, what the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But only if you protect the mind from overload. Let's linger here a bit, because this foundation is crucial. Picture your energy as a battery. Every yes drains it a little. When it's low, your creativity suffers, your relationships strain, and your goals fade. In the UK, where long hours in cities like London are common, young professionals often report feeling trapped in this cycle. but you have the power to change it. Start small. Track your yes for a week. Note how they make you feel. This awareness, inspired by Hill's self-analysis techniques, will build your confidence. You're not being selfish, you're being strategic. And as we move to the next point, we'll see how to align your no's with what truly matters to you. 2. Identify your core priorities and values. Now that we've uncovered the hidden costs, let's turn inward to what lights your fire. Napoleon Hill stressed the importance of a definite chief aim. That crystal-clear vision of what you want in life. Without it, saying no feels arbitrary, like shooting in the dark. But with it, every decision becomes a compass pointing true north. For you, perhaps in your early 20s or 30s, living in bustling places like Sydney, London, or Los Angeles, priorities might include career growth, building meaningful relationships, pursuing hobbies, or even just maintaining your mental health amid the chaos of modern life. Hill's philosophy encourages us to define these not vaguely, but with burning desire. In Think and Grow Rich, he outlines how to create a statement of purpose, repeating it daily to embed it in your subconscious. Here's how to apply this gently to saying no. First, take time for reflection, maybe during a quiet walk in the park or journaling over coffee. Ask yourself, what are my top 3 goals right now? For a student in the UK, it might be acing exams, landing an internship, and staying fit. For a young entrepreneur in the US, perhaps scaling a business, networking selectively, and nurturing family ties. Let me paint a picture with Alex, a 28-year-old software developer in Melbourne. He loved coding but found himself yes-ing to every hackathon, meetup, and side gig. Exhausted, he revisited Hill's teachings and listed his priorities. Advancing in his job, learning AI on his own terms, and spending weekends with his partner. Suddenly, saying no to irrelevant events became easier because they didn't align. To make this practical and caring, try this exercise. Write down your values, things like freedom, growth, kindness, or adventure. Then rate potential commitments against them. Does volunteering for that committee fuel your growth, or does it pull you from family time? Hill believed in autosuggestion, affirming your priorities daily, to build inner strength. In Western cultures, where individualism is prized but people-pleasing still lingers, this step builds trust in yourself. You're not rejecting others, you're honoring your path. Studies from positive psychology, like those by Martin Seligman, show that aligning actions with values boosts happiness and resilience. So, be kind to yourself in this process. It's okay if your priorities shift over time. Life evolves. By clarifying them, saying no transforms from a burden to a tool for empowerment. As Hill said, desire is the starting point of all achievement. Protect that desire by prioritizing wisely, and watch your energy soar. We'll build on this in the next point, where we learn the graceful ways to deliver that no without burning bridges. 3. Master polite and firm techniques for saying no. With your priorities in focus, it's time to equip you with the tools to say no gracefully. Napoleon Hill admired leaders who communicated with poise and conviction, blending firmness with empathy. He called it the mastermind principle, building alliances while staying true to your course. Saying no doesn't have to be confrontational. It can be an act of kindness to both parties. Let's break this down into actionable techniques, tailored for everyday scenarios you might face as a young adult in the West. First, the sandwich method. Start with appreciation, state your no clearly, and end with a positive note. For example, if a colleague in your San Francisco office asks you to cover their shift, say, "I really appreciate you thinking of me for this. It means a lot. Unfortunately, I can't commit right now as I'm focusing on my current deadlines. But let's catch up soon on how I can support in other ways." This honors the ask while protecting your time. Another gem is the alternative offer. Hill encouraged creative thinking, so suggest a substitute. If a friend in London invites you to a party but you're drained, reply, "Thanks for the invite. Sounds fun. I won't make it this time, but how about coffee next week instead?" It shows you care without overextending. For tougher situations like family obligations in Australia during holidays, use the boundary setter. "I love our family gatherings, but I need to limit my travel this year to recharge. I'll join via video call." Practice in the mirror to build confidence. Hill swore by visualization for success. Remember, tone matters. Speak warmly, maintain eye contact if in person, and use I statements to own your decision. I need to focus on. Rather than you always ask too much. This reduces defensiveness. Let's delve into a real-life example. Meet Jamie, a 24-year-old graphic designer in Chicago. Overwhelmed by freelance requests, she drew from Hill's persistence and started using these techniques. One client pushed for a rush job. I value our collaboration, but I can't take this on without compromising quality. Perhaps we can schedule it for next month. The client respected her more, and Jamie's business thrived. Psychological insights support this. Research from assertiveness training programs like those at the American Psychological Association shows that polite no's strengthen relationships long-term. In cultures valuing directness like the US or UK, this balance prevents resentment. Be patient with yourself. It's a skill that improves with use. Hill reminded us that every adversity carries the seed of an equivalent benefit. An awkward no today leads to smoother ones tomorrow. By mastering these, you're not just saying no, you're saying yes to your best self. Let's now address the emotional hurdle that often trips us up. That pesky guilt. 4. Overcome the guilt and fear associated with saying no. Guilt. That sneaky emotion that whispers, you're letting them down, even when you're protecting your well-being. As someone who's studied Napoleon Hill's work deeply, I can tell you he understood human psychology profoundly. He spoke of the 6 ghosts of fear, including fear of criticism, which often fuels our reluctance to say no. But Hill also provided the antidote, building self-confidence through knowledge and practice. For many young people in developed nations, guilt stems from societal conditioning. In the US, we're taught to be go-getters, always available. In the UK, politeness reigns supreme, making no feel rude. In Australia, the laid-back vibe can mask underlying pressure to be mates with everyone. But here's the truth shared with care. Guilt is often a false alarm. It's your inner people-pleaser talking, not reality. To overcome it, start with reframing. Hill's auto-suggestion technique is perfect here. Affirm daily. I deserve to protect my time, and true friends respect that. Visualize positive outcomes, the relief, the productivity boost. When guilt hits, pause and ask, is this helping me or holding me back? Consider Emily, a 27-year-old teacher in Manchester. She felt guilty saying no to extra tutoring sessions, fearing she'd disappoint parents. Inspired by Hill's story of overcoming his own fears, she journaled her wins. Each no freed time for lesson planning, making her a better educator. Gradually, guilt faded, replaced by pride. Science echoes this. Cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) techniques, widely used in Western therapy, teach us to challenge guilt-inducing thoughts. A study from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who set boundaries report higher self-esteem and better relationships over time. Address fear of backlash too. Most people are understanding, and if not, it reveals more about them than you. Hill advised surrounding yourself with a mastermind alliance of supportive people. Nurture those relationships. Let go of draining ones gently. Be compassionate with yourself. If guilt lingers, talk it out with a trusted friend or mentor. Remember, saying no models healthy behavior for others. You're leading by example, just as Hill's mentors did. By conquering this, you free up emotional energy for joy and growth. Now let's explore the beautiful rewards waiting on the other side. 5. Reap the long-term benefits of saying no. As we build this skill, let's celebrate the fruits it bears. Napoleon Hill's success formula wasn't just about hard work. It was about smart work, channeling energy where it counts. Saying no creates space for yes that matter, leading to profound benefits in your life. First, enhance productivity. With fewer distractions, you dive deeper into tasks. Hill's principle of concentrated effort shines here. For a young freelancer in Sydney, saying no to low-pay gigs meant time for high-value clients, boosting income and satisfaction. Then better health and well-being. Chronic yes ing leads to burnout. No's prevent it. In the US, where hustle culture is intense, the CDC reports rising stress among millennials. Boundaries reduce that, allowing rest, exercise, and hobbies. Essentials for long-term success, as Hill noted in his health discussions. Stronger relationships follow. Paradoxically, saying no builds respect. People value your time more, and you show up fully when you do commit. In the UK, where social circles can be tight-knit, this fosters deeper connections over superficial ones. Personal growth accelerates too. With protected energy, you pursue passions. That online course, that novel, that travel dream. Hill's stories of inventors like Edison show how focus birthed innovations. Let's illustrate with Tom, a 26-year-old entrepreneur in Austin, Texas. Bogged down by yes, he applied Hill's teachings, saying no to non-essential meetings. Result? His startup flourished, he rekindled his love for hiking, and his stress plummeted. Economically, in developed countries, this skill correlates with career advancement. Harvard Business Review articles highlight how boundary setters rise faster, avoiding overload. Emotionally, it's liberating. You feel in control, aligned with your values. Hill called this peace of mind the ultimate wealth. These benefits compound over time, like interest in a bank. Start small, and watch your life transform. Inspired by Hill, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Our final point will help you integrate this into daily habits. 6. Build habits and apply Napoleon Hill's mindset for lasting change. To make saying no second nature, we turn to habit building, infused with Napoleon Hill's enduring mindset. He believed in the power of persistence and daily routines to reprogram the subconscious for success. Start with small wins. Hill's definite plan applies here. Commit to one no per day, perhaps declining a minor request like an unnecessary email response. Track it in a journal, noting how it feels. Over weeks, this builds momentum. Incorporate Hill's morning ritual. Upon waking, review your priorities and affirm your right to boundaries. I am the master of my fate, he might say, adapting Captain Henley's poem. For young adults in fast-moving Western societies, integrate tech mindfully. Use apps like Focus at Will for distraction-free zones, or calendar blocks for no time, sacred slots for self-care. Role-play scenarios. Hill valued preparation. Practice saying no to common asks, like party invites or work favors with a friend. This desensitizes fear. Seek accountability. Form a mastermind group, as Hill recommended. A small circle of like-minded peers to share experiences. In online communities across the US, UK, and Australia, forums on Reddit or LinkedIn offer support. Handle setbacks gently. If you slip and say yes regretfully, learn from it without self-judgment. Hill saw failures as stepping stones. Long-term, revisit your aims quarterly. Life changes, a new job in London, a relationship in Perth. So adjust boundaries accordingly. Consider Mia, a 23-year-old student in Boston. Struggling with overcommitment, she adopted Hill's habits. Daily affirmations, weekly reviews. Soon, saying no became effortless, freeing her for top grades and a fulfilling social life. Neuroscience supports this. Habits form through repetition, rewiring the brain per books like Atomic Habits by James Clear, echoing Hill's ideas. By embracing this mindset, you're not just learning a skill, you're embodying success. Hill's legacy proves it. Persistent application yields riches beyond money, fulfillment, balance, purpose. As we wrap up this exploration of mastering the art of saying no, inspired by the wisdom of Napoleon Hill, take a moment to reflect on how far you've come in just these thoughts. You've uncovered the costs of overcommitting, clarified your priorities, learned graceful techniques, conquered guilt, celebrated benefits, and built habits for lasting change. Remember, this isn't a one-time lesson. It's a lifelong practice that grows with you, protecting your time and energy so you can pursue your definite chief aim with passion and peace. I encourage you to pause right now and think. What's one area in your life where you'll say no this week? How might that open doors to greater joy and achievement? Share your insights in the comments below. I'd love to hear what resonated most or a personal story of your own. Your experiences could inspire someone else watching. If this video touched you, please give it a thumbs up. It helps spread these empowering messages. Subscribe to the channel for more gentle, expert guidance on personal growth, drawing from timeless thinkers like Hill. And if you know a friend struggling with boundaries, share this with them. Together, we can build a world where everyone thrives. Thank you for joining me today. You're capable of incredible things. Believe it as Hill taught, and go forth with confidence. Until next time, take care of yourself.